You gotta press the button.
That's him?
Correct.
Are you Ota Matsushita?
Who are you?
I'm from
Showed
the
him my badge.
MPD.
The police?
He's a Toshiba get the laptop.
Can I reach over and break that thing in half?
If you can pay for the damages.
Damn it.
What is laptop? Receptionist. Wow. What good eyes you have. Company's logo. Lemon cape.
Date,
Oh,
look! Ants! Look at them go! Yay!
We need to have a discussion about your obsession with insects.
That is a high stool.
A high school?
No, Date.
High stools are on the table. It's a high table. A door. Probably an office back there. Reception desk. It's the receptionist I get. Why are you so green? Oh. There you go. Abstract painting hung up.
Supposed to be.
I do not know.
Comprehensible painting hung up. Large window. So far, a sofa. The sofa. The sofa. Lots of magazines. There you go. I think let's take a look at that one. A vending machine full of drinks. Emotional vibes. Videos of the agency of talent. Isn't that kind of company?
Nothing. Could you stop bothering me, please? No, I'm kinda busy right now. How did you know that?
Because I'm psychic.
Excuse me? Last night?
Don't play dumb, kid. Yesterday, 9 p.m., you called the police from a payphone. You told them about screaming you heard coming from Bloom Park.
I have no
4 hours
idea
later.
what you're talking about.
All right, Ota, look. We either do this here, or I take you down to the station.
Do you have a warrant? Article 2.3 of the Execution of Law Enforcement Code. Unless initiated by legal process, no person shall be detained or obligated to answer any questions without explicit consent.
Type of kid I hate the most.
Date, wait. Causing a disturbance in public will result in disciplinary action.
Then what should I do?
I have an idea. Give me a moment. I told you to wait.
Waiting's just pissing me off more.
Perhaps your dosage needs to be increased.
What?
Listen to me, Date. Ota's PC is connected to the internet via Wi-Fi.
And?
I was curious, so I hacked into it.
Why do you have
Does
4
Tessa
windows?
refer to ASET?
That is a popular
Their bot
fan
accounts
nickname
following
for her.
itself?
That means Mato has to be Ota.
Correct. However, it appears that Ota is the one operating the other 3 accounts as well.
What?
Optical Protein Fiber, Pongo Ponko, and KG are all Ota's sub-accounts. Ota is insulting Aset and defending her all by himself. This is what's known as a straw man sock puppet or false flagging.
This kid is pathetic. Hey, kid.
What do you want?
I'm gonna tell Aset
Tell her what?
that you're sock puppeting for her on Twitter.
What are you talking about?
You should drop the attitude.
You shouldn't make those kinds of accusations. Do you want to get sued for defamation?
Optical Protein Fiber, Pongo Ponko, and KG are all your sub-accounts.
What? How do you know that?
I told you, kid. I'm psychic. Now, I have some questions for you.
Fine.
Not only were you faking the whole thing, you made sure to add her so she'd see it.
But if she doesn't see it, she won't know that I'm protecting her.
You won't see
Don't
it
you
anyway,
think all
Kevin.
those comments hurt her feelings, even if you defend her?
But in the end, I made it so everyone became
They're
fans
reading
and
the
got
sneaker
along.
replies.
That's not the point.
I'm sorry.
Just don't do it again, okay?
I'm waiting for Tessa to come out.
This is an office building, not a concert hall.
This is the main facility of Lemniscate Entertainment's production branch. There are multiple studios for recording and broadcasting in this building. Tessa is recording a podcast today.
I'm gonna ask you again. Were you the one who reported the screaming at Bloom Park around 9?
Yes,
Why were you in the area? You better tell me, or I'll tell everyone about your little imaginary enemies. Hey everyone, this guy...
Okay, I'll talk, just shh. I went to Bloom Park because I was supposed to meet someone.
Did you enter the park?
Yes,
So who were you meeting?
a girl named Mizuki Okiura.
What did you say?
Mizuki Okiura? She's the daughter of the president of Lemniscate. Do you know her?
Yeah, I know her.
She's just a friend.
Yes, she better be.
What? Why do you care?
Where and how did you two meet?
Here, the Lemniscate lobby. Mizuki is friends with Tessa. I was talking to Tessa one day and she just comes up like, hey,
When was this?
last September. So, I guess the relationship has lasted over a year now.
Don't call it a relationship.
Well, what am I supposed to call it?
A friendship?
Anyway, I have her look over my work sometimes.
Work?
Acquaintanceship?
I write light novels.
Really? What's your pen name?
Odoin Kyoma.
That is a lie. Database searches reveal no professional authors have ever submitted work under that name.
Hey, Ota. How about you stop lying to me? My third eye can see through your bullshit.
Well, I'm not a published author. I'm an aspiring author, to be exact. So, anyway, Mizuki reads my novels. I get notes and advice from her.
From a 6th grader?
She's surprisingly insightful. She has the talent to be an editor for sure. Around 8:10 last night, I got a call from Mizuki saying she wanted to meet me at Bloom Park. She sounded scared. You know how that area is run down and abandoned? I think she wanted me to go with her as protection.
But why Bloom Park?
Someone messaged her on Nile.
Nile is a popular messaging application for smartphones and PCs.
What did they say?
She didn't tell me exactly, but it said to come to the merry-go-round at Bloom Park tonight.
Who sent it?
I don't know. But Mizuki was determined to go.
What happened next?
I met up with Mizuki and we went into the park.
Did you leave her there? You left a 12-year-old girl by herself?
I didn't mean to. I was panicking. People do stupid things when they're in fight or flight mode. Like when people grab their pillow and run out of their house in a fire.
Jeez, you're a real hero, kid.
See, I knew you would make fun of me. This is why I didn't want to tell you.
Is that why you didn't identify yourself on the phone? You seriously didn't think we'd find you? Mizuki would have told us everything.
I didn't think she would.
Why wouldn't she?
She said that if she ever got caught going out at night with someone like me, her roommate would kill her.
Good girl.
I tried using my cell phone at first, but my heart was pounding and I was scared and my hand was shaking. And with the rain last night, it kind of slipped out of my hand.
You dropped it?
Yeah, right into a puddle.
Iba, can you trace the last signal that Ota's phone sent out?
Near Bloom Park, just past 9 p.m. The phone has not been turned on since.
I guess he's telling the truth.
Hey, Ota, what are you doing?
Tessa!
Are you supposed to be the singer?
And you are?
Mr. Date from the MPD. He came here to ask me about what happened last night.
You mean a detective? Wow! I've never met a real detective before!
How do I leave? What floor are we on?
Date,
Bro,
your
calm
adrenaline level
down.
is rising. Is something the matter?
No, nothing.
Oh,
I heard about it. About Ota seeing that corpse at Bloom Park. He told me.
Tessa?
Why didn't you come to the police?
Such a shocking story would certainly pique the young woman's interest. It is possible Ota wanted her attention.
He told her about a dead body he found for attention?
Actually, I already knew about it before Ota told me.
How?
It's all
Ota, you
over
can
the
leave.
internet. When I saw Ota this morning, I asked him about it. He told me he saw the body. Mizuki Okiura? Yeah, I am! Mr. Okiura runs the
No,
agency,
the other one.
and Mizuki is his daughter. So, we hang out sometimes.
Is that how you became friends?
There's more to it than that, but basically,
Live under the same roof. I'll be back in just a minute. Finish the dialogue though.
So, Mizuki must come here to hang out sometimes.
Hey, I'm back. I'm back. Probably take off my face mask. Putting that on anymore. I was gone for a bit. I'm sorry. Ever since my mom died, my dog doesn't like to be alone, and everyone else went to bed. He didn't want to be up. He didn't want to go to bed yet. So, hanging out with my dog. We had to sit by the door. So, what were we doing? Talking to ASET? Are you ASET?
Let me confirm something. You're ASET, right?
Let's play a game. Shadows!
You know, what's an old crossword puzzle or ASET?
Thread,
I'll
silhouette,
just finish it later.
ASET.
Fears.
Upset, regret, ASET.
Water.
Wet, sweat, ASET.
Yay! A-set, you bet!
Can I pause this
The
crossword
magnetic
puzzle?
currents in the atmosphere are clearly causing aberrant behavior. We should leave. At
I'll
once.
just minimize it for now. I'll probably put it into a suspended state. Plug my phone in. Now it is late, so I
I
probably will
turned
just
18 this
not
year.
read over some of the
Senior
stuff.
in high school?
All the filler text.
Date, I recommend you keep your hands to yourself.
Dude, isn't this dude
Don't worry. I'm not gonna make a move.
What?
Oh, I meant Ota.
Wait, you were gonna make a move on me?
Relationship?
We're like a goddess and a summoned thrall.
Her thrall?
If Tessa ever gets in trouble, I swoop in and protect her.
You sound more like a superhero than a thrall. Ota always defends me when I'm getting bashed online.
Stop, you're making me blush.
This guy. Hey, let me tell you something. It's about those posts on Twitter.
Wait!
Looks like you're my thrall now. Isn't that right, Ota?
Yeah, just be cool.
Okay, you're done. About the murder?
Gee, Tessa, you always look so cute. So cute. So cute that I can't take it. Don't you think so too, Date?
You're awfully familiar with her.
I can't help it. Her loving aura is in the air. When I'm with her, my head gets all light, and I just relax and don't sweat the small stuff, you know?
You know who this is, right?
Yeah, it's the woman I saw at Bloom Park. Her name is Shoko Nadami. I saw it on the news.
Wait, do you not know who her daughter is?
She has a daughter?
I didn't know that either.
They must be unaware that Shoko is Mizuki's mother.
Maybe because her last name is different. Nadami and Okiura.
It has also not yet been reported that Shoko is Renju's ex-wife. Date, I have determined that these two have no further information for us. Our goal is to find the murderer of Shoko Nadami. Let us continue.
Right. Let's head back to the crime scene. See you kids later.
Where are you going?
Back to where the corpse was found.
In that case, I'll go with you.
Why?
You'll what?
Please take me with you.
Why?
Because I want to know more about what happened.
Why?
Do you have any suspects? Probably some crazy murderer, right? That's what Ota was telling me. The corpse was strung up on that merry-go-round. It must have been some kind of twisted message.
He moves.
Ota, take a video.
Huh?
Just do it. Mr. Date! Ota, did you get it?
Oh, yeah.
Look at him run, dude.
No, not at all. I'm just imagining your body sinking into Tokyo Bay.
I'm used to sinking. Part of the job.
Huh?
I like it.
Mr. Date, you are a member of the MPD, aren't you? A public servant? I wonder, what would happen if this little video happened to go viral?
You wouldn't.
Oh, and just so you know, taking my phone away won't help. It's already in the cloud.
You little...
Anything else new here? There's a window. I think that's an 8 seg, so her ears. Staring daggers.
I told you! I want you to take me to the scene of the crime. If you do, I promise I'll delete the video.
Date, a thought has occurred to me. She really is quite the seductress.
Rather an appropriate smile on their face given the circumstances. Would we go into this scene of the crime with the child who has no right to be at the crime scene? But nonetheless, taking the child at the crime scene. You can drive. It's domestic. In Australia, the steering wheel is on the hot side. Because there are all this problem on the side of the road.
And Indians use the left too.
The wind is coming for you, mate.
What?
Nothing. Just thinking.
How's this working? Did you catch your eyeball? You just looking to the left with one eye? Weirdo. Dash has a ton of stuff built in. Speedometer, tachometer, and other meters and gauges.
This ride is pretty
It's already
rad,
just
huh?
crashed.
It is indeed rad.
That's a handle.
Hey, you got any guns in here? I bet
Probably.
you do.
No, not in there.
So you do have a gun. Why do you ask?
You two are very close for an idol and a fan.
Ota is special. He really is like a hero to me.
Hero,
Getting
huh?
her up.
Well, I guess it was because I've always wanted to be famous, you know? I want to be famous, get on TV, be a household name.
But you're not there yet.
It's all right. Internet stars do better if they don't sell out.
Internet star?
Ota didn't tell you? I'm most famous on the internet. I do songs, and dances, and play video games and stuff on stream. Have you heard of Shovel Forge?
Shovel Forge is a game in which you manipulate cubes on the terrain to build structures.
I've been focusing a lot on that game lately.
What about being on TV?
I'm not very popular yet. I can only get on TV as a background singer or something. I don't get many gigs either. We're good friends. We go to movies and karaoke and go shopping together. She's really good at listening to me bitch and moan about my problems. I'm so much older than her, but it really doesn't even feel like it.
You're in high school?
Questions. Questions. Ah, what's it like being a detective?
Wouldn't know much about that. I'm not a detective.
Mm-hmm. But you are a cop, right?
Right. But I'm not on the crimes unit.
Then what unit are you in?
What indeed?
You aren't gonna tell me? Please?
What are you doing?
Just thinking about posting that video.
Whoa, hold up now.
Well then, tell me!
You know, now that I think about it, wouldn't you get in trouble for that video too?
What?
The video. You're an idol, right? You have a status to maintain. If that video went viral, I think you'd be in trouble too.
It's okay,
It is?
because sometime real soon, I'm going to die.
What?
I can see into the future. I know when I'm going to die. Just kidding!
I hope so.
Anyway, I'm not going down without a fight. So I will release that video if you don't cooperate.
I'm part of a special investigation unit known as Abyss.
Date,
I don't have a choice.
What's Abyss?
Advanced Brain Investigation Squad. Public doesn't know about it.
Wow, cool!
Don't tell anyone.
I promise I won't. I swear to the Egyptian goddess Isis.
We're doomed.
Well, at first all I did was stream from home. And then, not to sound cocky, but I started getting pretty big. I started getting offers from agencies.
I Twitch
One of them was
was
Lemniscate?
Well, not exactly.
Huh?
My mom's actually an old friend of the president of the agency.
Friend of Renju's?
Yeah. So I asked him for advice one day. You know, you have to be careful. Even a place that looks legitimate with an office and everything can be sketchy. And my mom and I didn't know anything about the industry at all. Anyway, one day Mr. Okiura said to come see him at his office, and he hooked me up.
By the way, I didn't catch your name.
You really want to know?
It's okay if you don't want to tell me.
Iris. Iris Sagan. I know, weird, right?
Stuck on what?
Ratty cake, baker's man. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. Had it, poke it, fill it with fruit. Something wrong?
No, it's nothing.
Excuse me, Yukaname Date?
That's right.
And the girl?
She's an important witness for this case.
Yep.
We've got business here.
Oh, okay.
I wish we come back and excitement and rush out of the scene. I wish you were deep. Tila. For the merry-go-round. Hold it for now. Got Mizuki inside the central column. Or was she there? wish it was out over here.
Iba, can you show me the earliest recorded images of the scene of the crime?
What is your intention?
Shoko's cause of death was blood loss from multiple stab wounds with the ice pick. Naturally, there should be plenty of blood,
Agreed.
but there isn't a single drop on the horse. And it was like this when we found it.
Correct. There are no signs of blood being wiped or washed off either.
That must mean... Last night, Shoko's corpse was on top of the horse.
It has been removed. The body has been transported to headquarters for autopsy and review.
Hello there, gamer. How do you do?
I do.
This is the horse that Shoko's corpse is put on. Yes. How you doing?
Not much. I just kind of like opened this game. I don't know if I really want to play, and
I mean, if you
stayed
want
late at work tonight.
Yeah, if you guys saw you were back late. You would just
Yeah.
come down, but if not, you know, it's whatever. Local cop.
I don't know.
Mr. Date, that
Have you
horse.
done any of your terrorized stuff?
That was stored in the warehouse nearby.
I
Some kids
completed
must have
2
broken in
challenges
and
before
broken
work
the
today. Yeah.
do they still give you a full battle pass level for Dilo?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know. I didn't remember.
Or I don't know about like regular battle pass, but Tenrai pass.
No,
Yeah.
I meant because didn't they do that with the first battle pass? Where when it first came out, when you did it with that, you got a full level of the battle pass. Maybe I missed.
I don't know, man.
I was gonna talk to Iris for a minute. I'll be ready like on the hour, I
Find
think.
some
If you
clues.
do like something.
She's a natural detective.
Alright,
huh?
well, I'm just like kind of sitting here
Mr. Date,
starving with
was
no
the body
food.
on top of this horse here?
Yeah.
That's the one.
Would you order you some mala?
Seems
No.
like some kind of ritual murder to
Pretty
me.
sure.
I
that
don't
you
trust-
ordered
I don't
that.
trust,
Religious cult sacrificing her to the devil.
Yeah,
or
I don't
something.
trust 145
Conducted their
fucking
ritual here,
delivery drivers.
like shadowy, hooded figures.
They're
going
nefarious
around and
beings.
around,
What you call out for a delivery driver?
stabbing her one
What?
by one.
What you call call
That's
off
quite
for a
an
delivery driver?
imagination. But
No.
do you have any proof?
No.
10
I
o'clock?
do.
Well,
It is Mr.
Sorry.
Dante.
Honestly, I don't know when but if it's like a pizza place and the pizza place is open to 12 o'clock,
When I
that's
was younger,
okay.
Yeah, pizza
But
place.
not
But if
some
it's anything else, no.
I will throw my
Kawasaki
life
is
on the line
restricted,
for a
right?
pizza delivery driver.
No one's supposed to
Yeah.
be here.
That motherfucker's got it rough.
This amusement park, Bloom Park, is located at the heart of the Kawasaki district. It was closed 8 years ago. The closure was due to an accident at a nearby chemical plant. An explosion caused massive amounts of chemical pollutants to contaminate the area.
Alright, Iba.
The government quickly issued evacuation orders. Eventually,
So can't believe her
the
name is
entire
Iris
district
Sukan.
was deemed unsafe for habitation and restricted.
Sukan
Therefore,
what?
Bloom
Sukan these
Park
balls?
was permanently closed.
I had to say it again.
but a restricted area doesn't mean much if there aren't enough officers to patrol it. There's still plenty of ways in. You can even get in by boat. Hell, some people ignore the evac order and are still living here.
Are they okay?
I don't know. But if anything happened to them, it'd be their own fault.
Are we safe?
We are, yeah. Decontamination for this area is basically done. The chemical concentration around here isn't high enough to hurt you. You could run a marathon here and be okay.
But it's still off limits, right?
Says the dude.
Yes, legally.
Everything past 6 years ago.
That keeps the media out, at least. I'm glad. It's quieter than it usually is.
Iris, talk to me. What do you think this was? Why do you think this was a ritual murder?
The horses. Horse? Sounds kind of like Horus, right?
Absolutely.
What are you
not. Go
talking
back to
about?
school.
You don't know Horus? Horus is the Egyptian god of the sky and sun. The right eye is the eye of Ra, and that's the sun. The left eye is the eye of Wajet, and that one is the moon. It's the same idea behind the eye of Providence.
The Eye of Providence?
The all-seeing eye.
Oh, I see. Just like what's on the back of a $1 bill.
Yeah, exactly. The Eye
Says
of
the
Providence
police
is
officer in
supposed to
Tokyo.
be the symbol of Freemasonry and the Illuminati. Starting to see the picture?
Not really.
I remember Ota describing the scene. He said there was an ice pick stabbed into the corpse's left eye socket. Horus? Providence? Left eye? There has to be some kind of meaning to this.
Wait, what did you just say?
What?
The ice pick was inside the victim's left eye socket?
Yeah?
Ota told you that? He's sure that's what he saw.
Yeah. Why?
When we arrived at the scene, the ice pick was not in the victim's
The ice
eye
pick
socket.
was removed from the victim's eye socket.
Ota's telling the truth.
He would have no reason to lie about such a detail.
Tinazuki?
Oda's an absolute weirdo, man. I do not like that child or that young adult.
Hey, Iris, I don't know what you're trying to accomplish here, but you're wasting your time.
What do you mean?
The cops already scoured the place. They didn't find any leads, not a single clue. If they had, they would have notified Iba,
Iba?
my partner.
Your partner? I don't see anybody.
She's right in front of your eyes.
Or is she in front of my eyes?
Huh?
Iris, where'd you go?
Oh, come on! Just a little longer.
No. I'm already in enough trouble bringing a civilian in here.
Okay, I
I mean, this
guess.
dude won't say anything. Or else he's the Achilles.
Hey, you alright? Are you okay?
Morning sickness.
Excuse me?
I'm kidding. It's not like I would know.
Get on. I'll give you a ride home.
Yeah, score.
Just wondering, but how much do you weigh?
You don't ask that
Don't
question.
you
I
know
just do
it's
with,
rude
you know,
to
a young
ask a
adolescent.
lady that?
105 pounds.
I see. 105, huh?
You can tell just by lifting me?
Yeah.
Your
It's like
back
this
is
a worse
so
thing to say to a
warm, Mr.
teenager.
Date.
Just disclose their weight to them. To be fair, yeah, they probably do have everything about this person on the internet. It's a wheel.
You
Dash.
know, I'm feeling kind of bored.
Seriously?
With some dice to play with. Keep them out the left pocket. I'm too afraid to show them off. Glove box.
You know how stuff always gets beat up when you put it in here? Don't you wish they could make these things a little nicer? Oh, horrible.
Shame.
Oh, you should worry about me more.
Looks like you're feeling better now.
Maybe I'm just acting.
Yeah, I don't
You're a
think so.
streamer, you can't act, I'm sorry.
What if I threw up right here?
I would put it right back where it came from.
Ew, that makes me actually want to throw up.
Iris, open the passenger window. I can see that.
Wait, seriously?
No, but I am kind of warm.
The current temperature is 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Humidity 60%.
Thank you, Iva.
It is unlikely that heat would be a factor.
Hey, Date. They say when you stick your hand out of a car going 100, you get a rush like you're holding D cups.
What are you
Hey,
talking about?
watch it. You'll get your arm ripped off.
Please keep your arms to the side of the vehicle.
Relax, I'm invincible. My arm regenerates like an alien's.
Didn't you tell me that you're gonna die soon?
It feels strange.
Your hand?
No, not that. It feels like I've met you before.
Well, that's nice. But if you don't get your damn hand back in this car right now...
Okay, okay. The wind feels nice.
The Sagan residence? Excuse me.
You should come in.
No, that's alright. I'm gonna head home.
And the Sugan.
Ooh, going home already.
Said my goodbyes and turned to leave. Out of the corner of my eye. I don't recognize the person. Where you're from, the dreaming is murdered, I don't really remember.
Who is this, Iris?
But my body freeze. That woman. Yes. But it was different hair. Sorry, it was dark. They did mess up like all of the Twitch stuff. My mind and body were being torn in opposite directions. I should grab my hand.
Come on, I'll make some tea.
You're
Nice to meet you. I'm Iris's mother, Hitomi.
Miss Hitomi.
And
The name
you
is
are?
Hitomi Sugan.
Kaname Date from the MPD.
Police. Are you a detective?
No, Mom. Mr. Date said he's...
Iris?
Oh, right. It's nothing. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I would be furious if my child brought the police to my door for fun. Iris brought us some tea on a tray, put everything down on the table, and sat down on the sofa. I want all three. Steam is rising from the tea. A coffee table. There are some elementary workbooks on the table, but looking closely, one in the middle is different. Osogami Sumo Wrestler Directory. Osogami Sumo. These are elementary workbooks in the Sumo Wrestling Almanac, sorry, on the table. Yeah, this dude plays a visual novel every once in a while, can't read. Funny, huh? You can see the trees and sky outside. It's for lighting. A ceiling fan is spinning. We saw that picture. We were sitting where the skeleton sat, if I recall correctly. There's a drawing on the wall. I wonder if Iris drew this when she was younger. What did you cover everybody in? I didn't even take another look at this. For everyone's taking that picture, I hope it was chemicals. There's a door in the back of the room. I can't see them from here, but there's probably a sink and stove on the other side. The kitchen counter. A refrigerator.
Okay, a riddle. How do you put a giraffe in a refrigerator?
What?
The solution is this. You open the door, put the giraffe in, and close the door.
Thank you, Iba.
What riddle is that?
Another riddle. How do you put an elephant in the refrigerator?
Isn't it the same answer? Open the door, put it in, close the door.
Incorrect. The giraffe is already inside.
Funny.
You must remove the giraffe before you put the elephant inside.
Dude, that would slay during soggy.
Your riddles could use some work.
There are a lot of dishes. A dining table.
We could always sit here and ask the spirits what they think.
It's not a divining table.
Man, I love how like every single scene has like 4 puns tied to it. I love it. A bookshelf. There are no books on it, but definitely a bookshelf. Saw in a catalog before, so I know. That weird lamp. Hey, it's plugged in this time. The lights are off. A bookshelf. There's a calendar and a strange object on the shelf. Reminds me of kind of an angel. What is that object? Tabletop calendar and a mysterious object on the shelf. A wooden shelf. It's a shoebox. I wonder what they smell like. Excuse me?
Hey,
Miyazaki?
those are private, okay?
Tarantino? A clock? Dude, this dude's like an owl. In the front door. Cushion? Seen that cushion somewhere before. Not just the cushion. Entire room in my dream last
Is
night.
there a problem, Date?
No, that's nothing.
I wasn't supposed to remember the dream.
The flowers.
It's an iris.
An iris. I thought those bloom in May.
That's the winter iris. Iris ungicularis. They bloom in the cold.
They bloomed just this morning.
I see.
In the language of flowers, the iris means good news and hope. When I saw the flowers this morning, I just knew something good would happen.
A winter iris means good news and hope. Sure, just go out with the big question.
I'm 37.
And Miss Iris here is 18?
Yup.
They had to
You
do
were
it.
very young when you had her.
Yes, just 19 years old.
What about your husband?
I don't have one.
Divorce?
Mr. Date, please.
It's all right, Iris. I've never been married.
A single mother.
Yes.
By the way, I heard that you were friends with the president of Lemniscate, Mr. Okiura.
Renju was my classmate at Eitoku High. We've known each other for 20 years now.
Eitoku High.
You know it?
I know everything on the internet.
Yes, I do. But I only met her twice. Once at Renju's wedding, and then again just a few months ago. Why do you ask?
Dead.
No reason.
I'm a teacher at the local elementary school.
I thought this was for your daughter, you know?
Must be a tough job.
Oh,
Can get past the 3rd grade
not
math.
for me. I love children.
They're a streamer.
Even the struggles and challenges are quite rewarding for me. Do you know me? Oh, sorry for the strange question. It just feels like we've met before.
No. This is the first time we've met.
Of course.
Since I was born. And Mom was living here before that.
I grew up in this house. I've made a lot of memories here. I've thought about moving before, but I just couldn't bring myself to leave this place.
Why were you considering moving?
Well, because there was... well...
Time the AI broke into your house and witnessed your murder?
Huh?
You think so?
Yeah.
I was just thinking about a hunch I had this morning.
A hunch.
There are flowers blooming behind me, right?
There are, yeah? What about them?
Mr. Date, please drink your tea. It's
No.
getting cold.
Oh, right.
We haven't even touched our cups.
Well then, let's have a sip.
Are you left-handed?
Oh,
Mom used to be right-handed. But now...
It locked up on me.
Ah, I see.
Iris was hinting about the flowers blooming behind her. Yes, I was there a minute ago.
Yeah, thanks to you. I feel as tough as a lion. Rawr!
You're an adult almost.
How am I supposed to react to that?
Don't think about it. You'll only hurt yourself.
Well, I think it's time for me to be heading home.
Student headed for the door. Iris told me still politely.
Mr. Date, we'll see each other again, right?
You sure you want
Be
that?
ready in just a minute here, Jeffrey.
I'm a cop after all. If you ever see me again, it probably
Alrighty.
won't be under the best of circumstances.
Oh,
But
Gonna finish off
because
this
you're
scene.
Mizuki's friend, yeah, we might see each other again. She is kind of like my roommate after all.
what?
Anyway, be seeing you.
Dude, come on, the hand.
Excuse me. Well, I should head home.
All right, take care, Date.
I don't get those shadows.
Date, let's go over the facts of the case.
Good idea.
Did you take your eyeball out and put it on your lap? Oh, it's right there.
Dashboard.
Dashboard.
The dash.
Do you hide your risque reading material in there, Date?
Not at all. Why would I hide them there?
Do you think Elden Ring's gonna have such in-depth lore that you're gonna have a big meaty cum shot fall from the ceiling?
Dude, hopefully, man. I was like walking down the stinking tunnels of, under the castle in the first game.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, me. Want to play a game? Sure, let's play I Spy. I spy something round. My eyeball. Correct. I win.
I will terminate you.
Hi, my name is Kaname Date. Nice to meet you. What? Date? I have the same name. What a coincidence.
Perhaps he's had too much medication.
Don't push yourself, Date. No, I'm fine, Date.
You do not appear to be fine.
I see myself through Aba. I'll interact with the steering wheel. Oh, that's the dashboard. Aba is fitted into the center of the wheel. Bashoka's corpse.
The estimated time of death is yesterday, Friday, around 5 p.m. The cause of death is blood loss from multiple stab wounds to the torso. The weapon used to commit the murder is almost certainly the ice pick Mizuki was holding when we discovered her. There were no fingerprints, hair, or other clues left behind by the culprit. The corpse was found tied up on one of the horses of the merry-go-round. This makes it clear that the killer had no intention of hiding their crime. Rather, it appears as though it was displayed deliberately,
Our perp wants the limelight.
or is attempting to send some kind of message.
I was charging his eyeball, my bad.
The corpse was found with her left eye removed. That eyeball has yet to be found. According to Iris's testimony, when Ota first discovered the body, the ice pick was still lodged in the left eye socket.
So why did Mizuki have the ice pick? Could she have taken the eye?
But the bloodstains?
When we arrived on the scene, there was no blood on the horse the body was mounted upon.
Which means the merry-go-round wasn't the murder scene. Shoko was killed somewhere else, and then brought there to be displayed. That means Mizuki couldn't have done it. She's 12. She can't move a body or drive a car.
Were you considering her a suspect?
That's part of the job. If there's even the slightest possibility.
Then this is good news. It means the likelihood of Mizuki being the killer is almost zero.
I knew that from the start. She would never put her hands on her own mother. She doesn't have what it takes to commit murder.
Also a 6th grader.
Perhaps she was playing hide and seek.
Hide and seek?
It was not a serious suggestion. I was merely joking, as you call it.
Iba, can you give me a timeline of the events of the crime?
At once.
Approximately 5 p.m. Shoko
I
TOD.
wonder who sent that Nile message.
Mizuki receives Nile message.
Probably the culprit themselves.
Okay. Discovers Shoko's
Mizuki
corpse at
wouldn't
9
have
o'clock.
given instructions of a complete stranger.
Then Mizuki knew the sender.
That's what I'm thinking.
Or the suspect used her friend's phone.
Iba, can you hack into the phone and find out who sent the Nile message?
Nile's security protocols are intricate. It will take time to decipher. Yes, as a matter of fact. I checked the surveillance cameras around Bloom Park again, and I noticed something strange.
Something strange?
There were no cars. Yesterday, in the parking lot and the streets in the vicinity, there was not a single vehicle.
Are you sure?
I am.
Then, how did the suspect move the corpse?
I have no idea.
Alright, I'll save this here. As soon as I can save, because I don't know how to save yet.
Welcome back. I brought her here after her examination was over.
Mizuki. Has she said anything?
No, still can't talk.
Was it okay for you to bring her here?
I got permission from the hospital. Apparently, the hospital director has been poking a few of the nurses. So I asked him about that, and all of a sudden he seemed very open to the idea.
That's not permission, it's blackmail.
Same thing. You know what you need to do now, right? Sync with her.
I do wish to save this video game. Save your progress. Using a couple bytes. I'll probably just leave the game open, honestly. But okay. What do you want to do? You want to do Deep Rock,